This is the DigitalChalk login portal. We provide one of these to all of our clients, and you can change out your logos and colors to match your organization's branding. As you can see over here, UT Health, which is one of our clients, they've switched out their logos and colors, so very simple with regards to rebranding. The system is subdomain based, so for UT Health, their subdomain is uthealth.digitalchalk.com. That is a free secure subdomain that we provide where you can change out the prefix. We also offer custom domain options for organizations that would like to use their own domain for an additional yearly fee. What I'd like to do here is log in first as a student, and then we'll take a look at the administration side a little bit later. Another thing to point out, though, is that we do also have single sign-on options. We support SAML 2.0. We also support CAS, and we also have a custom DigitalChalk single sign-on option available. Let's go ahead and log in here as a trainee. For the trainee interface, this is what that looks like, and of course, obviously, you'll have your logos and colors switched out. We do have a bulletin section if you'd like to, have your web designers or marketing team create a nice little HTML banner. Then you can drop that into the bulletin section. As you can see here, I already have a few courses available for me. I'm already assigned to a few courses. Any courses that a trainee's been assigned to will be listed right there in front of them as soon as they log in. For organizations that wish to allow self-registration, we have an optional catalog tab available. Now you can disable that catalog tab if you don't want your trainees to be able to self-register. However, if you leave this available, then once they click on there, they'll be able to see the categories of courses that you've made available. Categories is an option for organizations that have a lot of course content that want to group those courses into different topics. Now we have some customers who maybe only have a few courses and it really doesn't make sense to categorize their courses. So if that's the case, you can disable the category option and just have them land on the course tab. However, if you're utilizing the category functionality, then you can upload your own images, create your own categories, and then of course the trainee can click on the category topic of their choice and they'll see the available options and they can go ahead and self-register for that course. So let's go take a look at the trainee interface at the course level. So when a trainee is taking a course, this is what the interface looks like for them. And for the purpose of our system, we use the term course elements. That's the terminology we use for the tools that we have built into the system for you to create your courses with. One of those tools is called the file element. If you have any worksheets or documents or handouts you'd like them to be able to download. We've got a presentation device called the chalkboard for audio-video files. Got a PowerPoint converter, a testing device, and we've got several other tools we're going to see as we go through this demonstration here. Now the defaults here are set to make the individuals go in order. So there's no skipping ahead, no accessing any future content. They have to do the first element in order to unlock the second one and so on and so forth. More of a certification style of approach. You do have the ability to override that if you'd like to check a little box when you create your course. Then you can unlock that flow so they can skip around. In order to start the course, the trainee is just going to use the next section up here at the top, which is highlighting the first element of the course. And so when I click here, you can see that in this particular course, we wanted to start off by giving them a document. So we've transferred over this PDF. They have a copy of it. Anytime they complete something, they'll get a green check mark showing what they've completed. And you can see it's now unlocked the next element, switched out the next section up here. Now also, if they need to stop and take a break and come back, the next day, later in the same day, or next week, or whenever, depending on how much access you give them, then it'll always pick them up where they left off. So that's a convenient bookmarking feature that's built into the system. Moving forward here to the next section of the course, you can see that we have one of our presentation devices called the chalkboard. This device right here, I'm going to go ahead and pause this and talk a little bit about it. This device here has several different layouts. We've got your video only option. We've also got a video slide combination. We've also got a video with notes option. We're going to see each of these different formats here in just a minute, but the key feature of this device is that we do control the forward progress. So there's no fast forward options, no drag ahead options. We're going to give you the ability to make sure that they are, streaming the entire presentation. Now, in addition to that, they can always go to a full screen mode if they'd like to. But one of the additional features we have in here is that we have a checkpoint functionality to where you can verify that they're actually sitting at the computer as well, not just playing the button, hitting the play button and walking off. So here you can see that I've got a little checkpoint. You can decide how much time they get on these if you do decide to activate these, and if they don't respond in time, you can have it reset and make them have to watch it all over again. Now we also have the ability for you to make the presentation a little bit more interactive. If you'd like to pop up some true, false, or multiple choice questions, then you can do so. And here we've got an example of just a simple question that we've popped up here. And based upon the response, you can also have it reset. If they answer incorrectly, I can have it reset and make them watch the section over again and then answer the question again to reinforce the training. In this particular case, though, I'm going to answer it correctly, and you can see it just keeps me moving forward, and you can type in little custom messages to pop up based upon the correct or incorrect responses. Now, moving forward through this presentation, we're going to go ahead and continue through the course. You can see now we've advanced and unlocked the next section, so we're going to go ahead and keep progressing forward here. This is another version of the chalkboard to where, as you can see, you've got the video on the right side, but you also have a chapter and notes section over here to where you can document certain topic points as they're going through the presentation. And then the trainee can also use the notes section to take notes if they'd like to. And they can always save a copy or print a copy anytime that they want to. Now, for demo purposes, in order to make sure that we don't have to sit all the way through all these presentations, I do have this one set to where I can fast forward. You do have the ability to override the defaults. So in this case here, we're going to go ahead and fast forward and just move on forward to the next portion of the course, which actually is our final example of a chalkboard to where you have the video slide combo option that you can utilize. So as you can see, pretty self-explanatory. We've got a video on the left side, we've got some slides that we uploaded on the right side. Within the system, you have the ability to sync up those slides to the talking points of the video so that everything matches up properly. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we also have a PowerPoint converter as well. So if you just want to upload a PowerPoint and let the trainees click through at their own pace and then perhaps have a quiz afterwards, then that's a capability in the system as well. Our PowerPoint converter will maintain your animations, it'll maintain your audio clips if you're going to have audio narration on the slides there. And essentially, when you upload your PowerPoint, we just convert it to HTML5 so it can still function on your iPads and tablets. So that's taken care of for you behind the scenes. Our test element is a very simple device. You can see that when a trainee begins a test, it shows what the title is, shows what the score is that you set for them to have to obtain. Then once they begin, it just takes them one question at a time. We've got true, false, and multiple choice options that you can use. As they answer questions, you can have feedback pop up if you'd like, or you can have it go right to the next question without any feedback. We've got multiple correct answer options available. You can insert images if you need to do that type of thing for your questions. But whenever they finish the test, it's just going to grade it. It's going to let them know how they did. If they pass, they get to keep moving forward to the next section. If they fail, you decide how many chances they get. You can give them a specific number of chances, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, or you can set it to unlimited opportunities if you'd like. Now, behind the scenes, we've got shuffle options for questions, so they're always in a different order. We've got question pooling functionality if you would like the system to randomly pick questions out of a larger pool. You can also have a time limit. If you'd like to set a time limit in there, you can have a time clock show up on the left side, specify a certain amount of time that they have available to take the test. Now, the last tool we have available here is called the assignment. This tool here allows you to ask an open-ended question. You can type out as much information as you would like for them to be able to read, and they can respond back with as much information as they need to answer the question. So this is also an available tool for you in the system. Lastly, you may have noticed these gray boxes over here on the right side. This is a communication feature that you can utilize. You can activate or deactivate if desired within each course. But essentially what they're used for is it's for a private communication channel from the trainee to the instructor and vice versa. So for instance, one of the use cases would be, in this case, we've got a document that we gave the trainee. So if I, as a trainee, had a question about this document, I could go over in the comment section for that topic. I could type out my question. I can fire that off. And then the instructor will get notified, and then the instructor can review what the trainee had to say. They can respond back. The trainee will get notified. And it's essentially just an ongoing discussion channel between the student and the instructor. Now, we don't offer any kind of group chats or forums in the system, so this is just a private discussion channel between trainee and instructor. And it's also not just for trainees to initiate. It could be for the instructor. Perhaps, for instance, the assignment that we just looked at, the trainee submits some kind of response. The instructor, after reviewing that response, could turn around and utilize the comment functionality to send back some critique or feedback. So it's another tool that's available in the system for those types of use cases.
DigitalChalk also offers Instructor-Led training support, or ILT for short. For some of our customers, they still continue to have courses in a classroom, a conference room, or perhaps conducted through online webinar tools like WebEx, GoToTraining, GoToMeeting, JoinMe, Adobe Connect, and a number of other webinar tools. In this case, you can see that we have the session listed, and the trainee can see that it's on Wednesday, July 1st at 4 p.m. Now, all times will be listed in the trainee's time zone. When they click on the link, you can see here that it's showing the details once again, And this session is actually going to be conducted through Adobe Connect. We have technology that detects the type of link that's in there, and it'll show a customized button based upon the tool that you're using. Another popular training method is the use of blended learning, which is a combination of live training with some self-paced modules. In this example here, we've got about a 4-week program starting off with a live webinar conducted on Monday, June 1st at 5 p.m., followed by a video, a quiz, and then the process repeats. Now, as the instructor, you can choose to decide that the trainees have to go all at the same pace. In other words, all the trainees have to attend the webinar first and be verified on your end before they can move forward, or you can keep it unlocked to where they can do all of the self-paced modules in between. So we let you control that and decide what pace they go at. But you can see in this example, when I click over here on the module, once again, just like the webinar earlier, the ILT session earlier, I've got my meeting details, the information. You can, of course, have more of a description here than this generic example. But then you can see also that the button detects that it's a GoToMeeting session this time. Trainees also have a calendar widget up at the top of the screen. And when they click there, they can see all of their upcoming ILT sessions. And at the bottom, they can sync up their ILT sessions with their calendars.
Now, anytime a trainee completes a course, it's going to be moved over to the completed courses section. So here is a place where the trainees can come in and view every course that they've ever taken in the history since they've been taking courses in the system. As you can see here, I do the same demonstration course quite often here for my demonstrations. But essentially, you can see, the courses. You can see when the course was taken. You can see what the score was. We do have a certificate of completion functionality that's available as well. So if you'd like them to have a certificate, those will be attached to any certificates that have been awarded. I can go all the way back actually to the first course that I'd taken way back, looks like as this demo student back in 2013. You can see that I still have my history recorded. I took this course back in June of 2013. I can see the score that I got back then. And of course there was a certificate attached, so they can always come back and re-access certificates, if you do attach those. And the certificates can be your own custom certificate. You can upload your template in the system with your logos and colors. And then we've got little text fields like student name goes here, course name goes here, all the different information, scores, grade dates, and things of that nature. You can just drag and drop onto your certificate, and it'll automatically create a PDF with the trainee's information upon successful completion of the course. Now let's go ahead and log in and take a look at the interface for the administrators. So as an administrator, this is what the interface looks like. And now as you can see here, I do still have the course dashboard in case your administrators need to take courses themselves. However, the manage course section, this is where all of your course creation is going to be done. And there's no caps on how many courses you can create, no limits on those. For demonstration purposes, let's go over here and just create a little sample course. So you just simply hit your create new course option, type in your title, and basically you're just filling out the little template here, set your passing score, and then once you create that template, you can go down here and set deadlines in your course completion section. You can decide how many days somebody has, 7 days, 3 days, 25 days, as many days as you'd like there. But whenever you're ready to start adding the content, you'll go to your Manage Course Elements section, and this is where you're going to start adding that content. Now all your tools that we saw a little bit earlier that you can use are listed over here on the left side, and at this point it's really plug and play. You decide how you build your course. If you want to do 4 videos in a row and then a test and then 3 PowerPoints, again, it's really totally up to you on how you build each course. For demonstration purposes, let's say that you wanted to start off with some kind of handout, a document for them to have a copy of. You would click on Import a File, type in what it is that you're giving them here, and then you just go over and choose the document that you'd like them to have and upload that into the system. Now for each handout, if you're given documentation for trainees to download and have a copy of, each one of those handouts or those documents or files can be up to 100 megabytes per file element. So that's the only limit on those. File type could be anything, PDFs, Word documents, could be an actual PowerPoint if you want them to actually have a copy of it. So literally any kind of file up to 100 megabytes per download. From there, let's say, perhaps you wanted to do a video. You would click on your Add a Chalkboard option over here, type in your title, and then just hit the Create button, and that'll create your presentation module. Going into your Edit section here, this is where you'll see your video slide combination that we saw a little bit earlier there. And then of course you can always change your layout over here in the layout section if you want to do a large video with notes or just a video only or an audio only option. Basically you just choose the option you'd like. In this case we'll do video only. Hit the save button. That switches the layout to the video only option. And then you just go over and grab your video file from your computer and upload it. Now the limitations on your video files or audio files if you're doing audio only is that each media file can be up to 1 gigabyte in size. The only other limit is 60 minutes per presentation. So essentially if you've got 4 hours, let's just say, worth of videos, just means you want to break it up into at least 4 segments, module 1, chapter 2, lesson 1, lesson 2, whatever terminology you use internally. But again, you just want to make sure to keep each video or audio segment to 1 hour or less and 1 gigabyte maximum per file. Now the video files, a little bit more info on that. We do convert those to MP4 format. We accept all the 16 major video file formats, but ultimately we'll turn it into an MP4 because that's what's required to render out HTML5 to your iPads and tablets. So that's taken care of automatically behind the scenes for you. Now if you wanted to import a PowerPoint, you just simply click your Import PowerPoint option, and then just grab your PowerPoint and upload it. So as simple as that for PowerPoint presentations. Then of course, we are also Scorm compliant. Got your Scorm option over here to upload your Scorm files. But again, it's a matter of just clicking, choosing the items that you want, plugging those in as you desire to build out your course. When it comes to tests, you click on your Add Test option over here, and then this is where you'll create that. We'll just call this Module 1 Quiz generically. And then essentially you just go through, you'll set up your options however you want this test to be administered. Type in your score. In this case I'll just put an 85. And then once you've got your settings set the way you'd like it to be delivered, you hit the save button. That'll create your quiz there. Then you go to your question section right here. Then your question options are right here on the left. Just click on the type, true, false in this case. Type in the question, choose your answer, and hit the create button. Same thing for multiple choice. Only you'll decide how many choices that you want them to have down there. Just keep creating the options and then just type in the answers for each option and choose the correct answer or correct answers if you're doing the multiple correct answer option. Now whenever you're finished building your course, as mentioned, you can build, add as much content as you want into your courses. But whenever you're finished building that course, if you do want to add a certificate, you just go over to your add certificate option. And this is where you'll be able to plug in your own custom certificate. We have a little placeholder here, but most of our customers upload their own certificates with their logos and colors. So you can upload yours. It'll switch ours out on the screen. Once that happens, you've got your fields over here to where you can drop those onto your certificates. So for instance, student name. Create the link, drag it and drop it. If you want to change up the fonts and size and all that good stuff, you can do that here. And then you just add the other fields that you'd like. In this case, we'll choose the course name. Of course, you got final score, instructor name, date of completion, some various different fields that you have available to you. But essentially, you just put those in the right spots, and once you have everything in the right locations, you just hit the save button to activate. Now, once you've got your course completed, once you've got everything built out, if you notice that you may have put something in the wrong order, perhaps, it's very easy to just drag and drop and move those elements into a different order. So very simple. Also, of course, this has all just been a demonstration just to give you an idea of how these tools work, how to use them, how to upload your content. But we do assign each of our customers a dedicated support representative called the customer advocate. And what happens is once you sign up for an account with us, we will schedule with your initial session with the customer advocate. The customer advocate will talk through your needs, talk through how you're going to use the system. They'll get a good feel of what you're going to be using in the system from a functionality and feature standpoint. And then what they do is they'll take that information away. They'll put together a custom tutorial course for you, full of little 2-minute, 3-minute little video clips that you'll go through. And once you finish that course, then they'll schedule a live follow-up to go over additional trainings and any other questions that you might have. Even beyond that jumpstart process, which is what we call it internally, even beyond that, you still have ongoing technical support, phone and email support, which is all in-house. We don't outsource that overseas. So you do have unlimited technical support for the life of the account. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Instructor Gradebook. And over here you can see I've got all of my courses listed. I've got quite a few courses, several pages here of courses listed. Now I can go over and filter for specific courses if I'd like, or I can go through here and just toggle through the pages. In this particular example, let's go ahead and look at Technology 101. Now, you'll notice over here I've got several options. I can register trainees over here directly if I'd like, or I can go over here and click on the charts section if I'd like to see certain visuals. For instance, we've got some graphs here showing just really usage statistics, number of registrations, number of completions on a monthly basis. I've got a grades timeline here to where I can see over a certain period of time how a trainee's been doing in general. For instance, I can see the high score, average score, and low score in the month of February. So again, just more visuals just to show overall how have people been doing over a certain period of time in that course. Clicking on the title of the course brings you down to your student section. So I can see that I've got 2 currently registered trainees. Now I've had collectively 23 individuals in here. What I'm seeing is the current people who are registered. I can always go filter if I want to see all the previously completed, passed, or failed status trainees. But once again, we're seeing currently the individuals who are in the course right now. And I can click over here, open up, and see everybody's progress at once if I want to, or I could have just clicked on one individual just to see that specific person's progress. But what we're seeing is this is a pretty short course. Got a download at the beginning, got a presentation, got a test. We've got one of those assignment questions. And as you can see here, we are seeing exactly where each of these students are in the course. So for John, for instance, we can see he did download this handout that we gave him. I can click on the one over here and see the exact day and time that happened. So we do track when things happen. For presentations, this is a video. I can see he did complete that presentation. The 3 here shows me the 3 different times that it took him to complete, how long he was in each of those 3 times, and also the collective amount of time it took to complete that presentation. Now, for video presentations like that, obviously, as you can see, we track that full amount of time, but of course, if you use those pop-ups, those checkpoints periodically, then that'll, of course, also get you your verification they were sitting at the computer all the way through as well. Now, if you do any PowerPoint modules, they will also still track the amount of time it took them. Now, we can't keep them from clicking really fast through the presentation, but if you've got 2 different trainees that went through a PowerPoint and you click in and you see one person took 30 seconds to go through a 50-slide presentation and one person took 20 minutes, then you'll, of course, obviously know which one really spent more time in there, which one actually reviewed the content. And then, of course, you could always have a test afterwards to verify that they actually reviewed the content. Speaking of tests, I have a test next here, and you can see John did get 100, but again, that 2 right there shows me 2 unique attempts. So I know that they did fail one time at least. So I can see John did fail the 67 the first time, got 100 the next time. And if you want to know exactly why they got the score that they got, in this case the 67, I can click on the check mark next to the 67, and I can see which questions were presented, which ones he missed, and which ones they got correctly. Then I can also see over here that we did have one of those assignment questions, and it is waiting to be graded in this particular case. I can click here, I can see what the question was, I can see what the response was, I can assign a score college style if I'd like, or if you're utilizing those comment boxes, I can actually go over here, click on the comment section, and I can type out some kind of feedback or critique and fire that off to the trainee so that he can review what I had to say about his assignment.
Now, regarding ILT tracking, let's use this sample blended learning course for that example. So when I click into this course, I can see my individuals who are registered, just like earlier. And of course, I can also open up and see everybody's progress, which in this case, nobody's really done anything in this course because we're starting off with this webinar that hasn't occurred yet. So if I wanted to check these individuals off of these sessions, I would just go to my attendance option on the left side. I'll see each of the 4 sessions that are within this course. Now, if I'm doing a classroom-based course or a conference room type of course face-to-face, then I can go over here and click on the print icon to save a PDF of the roster list so that I can do the attendance roll call during that session. When it comes time to check individuals off, you can just simply click on the link for the session. You can mass select everyone, or just pick and choose the individuals that attended or unselect the ones who didn't attend. Hit the Save Attendance button, and then everybody can receive their notifications letting them know that they can move forward with the rest of the course.
Now your administration tab, this is where you're going to be able to do a lot of different things. You can add your trainees here. Before you add your trainees, however, you probably want to set your groups up. Your private user fields are where you do that. And you can create your different groupings. In this particular scenario, I have departments, got sales, marketing, and support. As you can see, I can add as many as I want, create whatever different groupings that I'd like inside the system. But I also have, in addition to department, I also have a role option here where I've got different levels of employee, executive, managers, supervisors, employees. Now this is just a very simple example, but you can create, we've got some customers with regions, Southwest, Northwest, Northeast, and all those kinds of things. At the end of the day, whatever your different groupings are, you can create as many different group fields in here as you'd like. And essentially, when you're adding your trainees, you'll just go through, for instance, get your single user edition option. You just click your add option. You'll type in the information for that trainee. Then you'll just go over to your private info section here, and let's say this was perhaps a sales supervisor. I would just choose my sales option, choose my supervisor option as well, and then just save to create that trainee. Now, if you'd like to use our mass upload option, that's over here in the corner. And the way this would work is there's a simple Excel template that you can use, and very simple: first name, last name, email address, some basic information. But you would just take your list of trainees, and you would put each group on a separate list. You would take list number 1, upload that list into the system. They'll be imported, their profiles will be created, and once that occurs, you'll be able to select that group. Then you can just go ahead and mass group them, just mass select, mass edit, and put them in the appropriate grouping. Then you would just repeat that step with the next spreadsheet and the next spreadsheet until you get everybody in here. Now, of course, for organizations who are using our API, you can connect to your payroll systems, your database. If you're having programmers do those integrations, then you can have trainees automatically imported into the system and automatically grouped once they're created in here from your database. Now, also under your administration tab, you'll find your notification and reporting functionality. And we've got a very robust rules engine built into the system for these notifications and reports. And just to give a little bit of an example, let's go ahead and jump over to the notification area. Now, within the notifications, there are many different scenarios, thousands of different options with regards to the types of notifications you can create. You can create notifications to notify managers when one of their trainees have completed a course, and you can have that set so that it's specific to the manager, so they only get notifications when their specific trainees complete certain courses. You can have those same notifications for when any of their trainees register for a course, when any of them miss a deadline perhaps, because you can set deadlines for courses. Speaking of deadlines, you can set reminders for your trainees. You can have those go out to the trainees saying that, for instance, if you'd like a week before the course deadline comes up, you can have them receive a notification. You can have another one come up, 3 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before. Again, it's very robust, the capabilities of our notification engine in here. Perhaps you're the course administrator and you're creating content. Maybe you've got a course that's already out there, and maybe you added something new to that course. You can create a notification that goes off and fires off a message to all the current enrollees, letting them know, hey, there's new content. I just activated a new video, or I just created a new quiz, or this or that. Very robust rules engine built into the system here. In addition to that, on the notification side, those same types of rules are applicable to our reporting functionality. We've got our custom reports over here. You can have scheduled reports come out to you. You can have custom reports, like for instance, I've got a sales report set up over here that I'm going to send out to potentially to the specific sales manager, or I can go over and do those by reports. Now, the key is you're seeing these fields, sales, marketing, support, but these are just the fields that I've created inside my account. But again, like as we were talking about a little bit earlier on the grouping section, any of those fields that you create in the system, those are going to be informational fields that you can pull out and apply to the criteria of what information you're going to pull out from the system. So if you want to say once every week send me a report for all of my sales team who has passed a course, for instance, or who has failed courses, or all of my sales team who have missed deadlines or things of that nature, you can set up those criteria using our advanced edit functionalities and features in here to where you can add your conditions, add your rules, and at the end of the day, you can go out and have that be a scheduled report. So if I go over here to the team registrations report, I can go over here and set my schedule option, and I can say that let's say every Friday, or every Thursday in this case, since it's convenient for me to choose, I can say every Thursday in this particular case, once every 7 days, send me this same report and generate that, fire it off to this specific admin or that specific admin. You can choose which person receives those reports, but it's a very custom feature in the system that really allows you to drill down and do very detailed reports, pull out information, schedule reports, and it just really helps you to really keep track of what's going on in your organization. Now we've got another feature over here, the registration rules engine here, that allows you to automate registrations in the system. Now you can always go over here if you want to manually register somebody for a course. Let's say Bill, for instance, maybe I want to register him for a course. I can do so right from the user interface here. I could always go over here and just choose a team, maybe my sales team. I want to go over and select maybe select the sales team and register them for a course over here and choose from my catalog here. I can do those types of registrations, but sometimes we hear from some of our clients that they'd like to automate registrations. Perhaps maybe it's like a new hire training certification program or something of that nature, to where maybe you have 10 different courses and you want the trainee to go through each of the 10 courses in order. But it can be quite a lot of work if you're having to go in there and register each person as they finish each previous course. If you're manually doing that, then it takes a lot of your bandwidth out. So we have a registration rules engine in here that allows you to go in and set up some criteria. For instance, a very simple version would be I can set up an event registration rule that says when a trainee passes this specific course, let's just choose Economics 101 generically, then let's just go ahead and automatically register them for 102. You can set up an entire rules workflow here to where you can just automate that process, and as people complete courses, you can have them instantly enrolled into the next course and the next course and the next course and the next course. And at that point, that frees you up to just run reports and receive notifications if you want to automate those in the system. Just basically takes your workload and lightens it so that you don't have to worry about doing those registrations. Now, even though you may put together some automation in the system and automatically put people through certain course curriculum and certain courses and certain flows of courses, that doesn't stop you from having the ability to go in and still assigning manually certain courses as need be. But again, this is another functionality that we have built into the system to really make your job a lot easier. Now we also have a catalog rule functionality, and what that's used for is that's what you use to make sure that people only see what applies to them. For instance, in the catalog, if you're allowing self-registration, if you're keeping the catalog enabled so that people can self-register, then the catalog rule functionality is how you decide that, for instance, the marketing department sees courses that applies to marketing, the sales department sees the courses that applies to sales, and so on and so forth. So we do have that functionality built in the system as well for you. And then lastly, your themes area. This is where you're going to do all of your rebranding, if you will. So we've got some presets you can utilize if you want to use some of these, where you can click over on your add option there. You can drop in your exact color codes for primaries and secondaries, or you can choose from the color picker over here. And then you can also, of course, just click on your manage logo option over there, and then upload your logo to replace ours in the system. So rebranding is very simple.